rocks off, honey. Shake it now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, honey. Shake it now, now. Get 'em up downtown. Get your rocks off, get your rocks off, get your rocks off, get your rocks off.
And we're live. Welcome everyone to the live LUF Lounge on 5 o'clock on a Saturday night. If you're watching it live or you're watching it later, please remember to like and share. My name's Bev Webster and I'm your host tonight along with Daniel.
Hi guys.
Hi Daniel.
Welcome to tonight's show. We've got a packed show for tonight. This week's show, we're being hosted by me and Bev. I've got some great speakers tonight. If you've just noticed, me and Bev have got our purple t-shirts on because we're celebrating National Recovery Month. Every September, we celebrate National Recovery Month to increase awareness and understanding of mental and substance use disorders and celebrate the people who recover. This brings me on to our theme for this week, which is transformation. Bev's going to share us a video, so I'll hand it over to Bev. Thank you.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. And you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the dead. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we would take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains.
Thanks for watching that. I'd just like to say thank you for everyone who sent me the pictures so I could put that together. And thank you very much to Lauren, one of our colleagues who did the music for us. Shall we introduce our guest now, Daniel?
Yeah, thanks, Bev. So we're going to go around. We're going to introduce our guests. We're going to start with Brad. Brad, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself, mate?
Yeah, my name is Brad. Nice to see you all this evening. It's nice to be here as well.
And you're sharing your story tonight, aren't you, Brad?
I am, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Tony, do you want to unmute yourself? Introduce yourself, mate.
Hi, my name's Tony. It's nice to be here. Nice to meet you all.
Welcome. Welcome. James, are you there? Do you want to introduce yourself, James?
Yep, I'm James. I'm a support worker for CSI on the Tackle and Reoffending project, which is giving advocacy and support to people who've just been released from prison.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Thank you. David, welcome.
Hello, I'm David Dakin. I'm a person in long-term recovery. And as it's East Lancashire, I currently work over in East Lancashire at the moment for a wonderful company called Emerging Futures. We work alongside CGL in the Inspire contract. So hopefully I get to tell you a little bit about stuff we're doing, but also about, you see my picture at the end there. I'm not sure which one looked better, but you know, I've had some kind of transformation in my life too. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks,
Thank you.
David.
Jane Moody.
Thanks, Dan. You're right. Hi, yes, Jane Moody. So I'm the manager for the CSI, which is the Challenge Youth Sports Initiative, and the Ops manager for Active Lancashire. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jane. And then moving on to our next one, the boy with the bucket hat. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, man, I'm excited myself. Dan, Bev, thanks for allowing me on. Ben SOS Riley, that boy. Wave events, we're an alternative outreach service, soon to be working in partnership with Red Rose Recovery. It's such an honour to come and be introduced after, you know, such really cool counterparts and inspirational community leaders, right? So listen, thanks for having me here, man. It's great to be here.
Welcome, Ben. Thank you very much. Yes. And then we've got the lovely Emily.
Hello. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
You're just breaking up a little bit. But...
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I've just got a few shout outs quickly. Alison Kershaw, good luck to you all. PTR Ward, hi. Alex Campbell, hi Bev, great to see you. Lindsay's saying we're all looking great and there's visible recovery right there. And James Davenport, Brother David, Brother Ben. Joe Duffield, wow.
So you're going to be picking all the comments up tonight, Emily, aren't you? And all the shout outs.
So we've got quite a few shout outs at the moment, so I thought I'd better get those in quickly.
Yeah.
Leanne Roberts, hello peeps. So there's quite a lot of people here, lots of people watching, lots of activity.
So guys, don't forget to like and share. That's all we're asking you to do. We're asking you to press buttons, like and share, because you don't know where this is going to reach. You don't know what lives it's going to save. And you can win £20 voucher. So I'm going to pick that competition up later. I'm going to spin the wheel. But we're going to start off with our first guest. We've got Ben. So yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it. So here we go. Oh, where's it gone? Oh my God.
We'll get there.
Where's it gone? No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one.
It's not that one, guys.
It's not that one. It's that one.
Come on, guys, let's do it.
Oh.
You might need to just stop share it, then share again down.
I might have to tick the box, share the computer sound. It might help.
Yeah. I'm glad they weren't just me panicking. I forgot to introduce myself as well properly.
Come on, Bev, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, my name's Bev, as I said, and I work for
Red Rose Recovery. Sorry. What you said.
I work for Red Rose Recovery, and I'm also a massive part of the Lancashire User Forum leadership, and that's why me and Danny are here tonight to bring you this show. So I'll pass you back over to Danny now he's sorted out.
Brilliant. Thanks, Bev. Right, let's get straight into it. Here we go.
Ben SOS. Story time. True stories. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you.
Smashed into a million pieces, disfigured features, haven't eaten. Lord only knows how bad I'm beaten. First time circle sat defeated, I can't say no. That's my weakness, I've sank so low. Reach the deepest I can go. Help me defeat this, don't let go. Please, I need this. The meeting starter, please remain seated. Try and identify with who's speaking. I curled in the ball and fell asleep, and I dreamt a dream I'd not slept in weeks. In the dream I was fresh and clean. Woke up to a brew and a white key ring. One day clean and a fight to win. God only knows what might have been.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you.
Keep coming back, that's what they said. So I sat back in the seat where I slept. I slept, I washed, I shaved, I vet. Just for today, I've not used yet. Holding on, bruised and blessed. My broken body put through the test. Don't trust nobody, but I do my best. And they told me, let God do the rest. I took the first step, they done 12. Is this heaven if I come from hell? Just in time, saved by the bell. My guy co-signed the pain I felt. It takes a while to get sane and well. Time came and went. I put in the pot, help pay the rent. 30 days under my belt.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up.
Yo, so I count the days, out the maze, but I get this text. How's he mate? I'll be rounding fine, but the browning weight. I feel my heartbeat pound away till I bring that brown to my mouth and vape. And remember the pipe and the sound it makes, the loudest taste. Found a chase, you can't hear a sound in space, but I wake up, sweat dripping from my face. Look, I dream a nightmare like it's coming back to take us. So wake up, go and check the date lock. We are the music makers, not the 60 days you made up.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you.
God,
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up on you.
Wow.
Yeah, brilliant, Ben. Really powerful.
Thank you.
Do you know what? When I first saw that video, that was my first. Got something playing in the background. Hold on. Another one of
So
Ben's
go on then,
videos.
Ben. Tell us what else you've got going on.
Yeah, I mean, look, thanks for giving me the platform to pass on that message, Bev and Daniel and everybody at Red Rose Recovery. It's really appreciated. You know, that track is really special. Right?
You're just breaking up a bit, Ben.
60 days, my first 60 days. Am I? Can you hear me
Just
now?
a little bit, yeah. I can hear you again now, yeah.
Start again, Ben.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do apologise, guys, because I'm just in the hills. I'm just going to up a little bit. I was speaking about the video and the you know, that transformation that the first 60 days in recovery does to a person when they first get into you know, pathways of recovery. Now, my pathway was obviously the 12 steps and going into rooms and going into fellowships, but Red Rose Recovery and Dry Wave Events is an umbrella towards recovery, and there are many pathways, but I think them first 60, 90 days are crucial for transformation. And you know, just can you hear me?
Yeah, Ben, they're massive, aren't they? To get to them first 60 days is really hard, bro. Isn't they? Really hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's you know, it's a very trying and testing time, but there's there's a message throughout recovery and throughout every pathway, and it's keep coming back. You know, that transformation will happen. So anybody that's watching that's still struggling, just keep coming back into recovery, keep trying, get yourself connected. You know, connection is key. It's a key concept within recovery to create connection with friends and community and counterparts that are striving to achieve that same intention. So, you know, that intention being, look, I want to get clean. So Dry Wave is this outreach service with a difference. Where, you know, when speaking with Emma and Pete about Red Rose Recovery and Dry Wave, and our kind of, you know, motto is, you know, to bring the fun back into recovery, to bring something different and something new, you know. So I personally, I'm doing that with music, and I only really found out that, you know, to truly recover, I've got to find myself out, right? I've got to find out what I love. I've got to find out my assets. I've got to find out where I fall short in life, my defects of character, and then with that awareness, I can really push forward and make things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really important. I always say that connection is key, and then it's like finding a purpose in it, Ben, like something you love doing, and, you know, putting your heart into that.
Can I just say, Ben, you're getting a lot of love. You've got Leanne Roberts, she's chaired 12 groups.
Wow.
Hazel Hayes, great video. Steve Dixon, well done. Love that, Ben. Keep smashing recovery. You've got a lot of love. Winston Reed, great video. Powerful message, Ben.
Wow.
Stephen Brown, love it. Dominic DeCan, brilliant, Ben. There are so many people. That video was showing so much love.
Emily.
Loads of messages.
Emily.
Thank you.
But
that's David's twin brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got. Okay.
Yeah, that's Dave's twin brother.
So many people watching it, and as soon as that video was on, it was like there was comments gone bum 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 bum. So just keep watching.
Can I just come in really quickly while we're on the subject of the twins, just really quickly. When they came onto your radio show and did that for 2 hours, that was another wow moment.
Powerful.
So if you haven't seen it, where do we find it, Ben?
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, thanks for that. Find us at Dry Wave Events. Go into Facebook and type in your search bar Dry Wave space event. That's DRYWAVE, Dry Wave Events. And then you can find a whole list. So we've got a radio show called Dry Digital, and we've also got a Dry Live show which runs on a Sunday, which is primarily music based. So we have a guest DJ in every week, and we give shout outs to people's clean time, and it's all based around recovery. It's really super fun. But so we had Dom and we had Dom and Dave, and they sent the bleeding thing viral, didn't they? They must have had about 10,000 views, them two, because they're so popular, and it's because they you see, they're just two great. Can't get by without a wink and a smile, right? It's just amazing. I love the pair, man. I just love them. You know, they're such characters in recovery, and also they're really influential, especially to me, you know, because I just see them enjoying themselves. They're on this adventure, and that's really what I try to emulate in my recovery. You know, it's a great adventure. In fact, they've got a band themselves, so they're huge with music and music in recovery and passing their message on through music. So their band is called It's All About Me. Yeah, do you get it? It's all about me. So Dry Wave Events also runs clubbing events, and we've got round the restrictions, and we're allowed 150 people to come to an event in Manchester on the 10th of October where we've got It's All About Me. Yeah, so they're going to be live with the live PA, live band. We've
He's breaking up. Dave, do you want to come in? So is there still tickets available for that? And then where do people go to get tickets?
Well, in regards to, he'll have to tell you,
some
Ben.
really cool headlines.
It's got some amazing people playing at it, though. It really is. Entrance, Faithless, loads of, and some really, really good, what we call resident people who play at all the dry waves, who support it, and a lot of young talent who Ben and his friends over at Pi Radio, they like nurture people in the early in the not just recoveries, just in giving people something to do and be able to express their artistic stuff. They've even in dry wave now, they've even started like an art leg to it, and that they really are getting proper established. It's great to hear that they're going to be working with Red Rose as well. So that's really good.
So Ben's asked me to share this. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly. We've got a bit of a surprise for you. There we go. So we've got Pete Yarwood and Helen. No, I don't think her name's Helen. That's Emma. So I don't think he checked that before that went out. But yeah, we know who that is. So go to Dry Digital on Facebook. You can watch that on Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm not sure whether Ben's going to be able to come back because of his signal. So Bev,
yeah,
should we
move on to shall I just say about his brick application he's done?
Yes.
Quickly, because Ben, we're going to tell you about it, but he's put a brick application in, and I was talking to him because most of you might know I did a talent show and various artists came on. So Ben's going to put an album together, a recovery album, and he's going to have it so people can just download it if they want for free. So he's going to do like workshops, and he's going to do a studio, and he's going to do workshops so people can come down for like a day, and then he'll do it with a different band and then do it with a different artist. So that's just for people anyone in recovery who, you know, they've got a talent and they want to share their singing talent, or they've got a band. You know, you can get in contact with Ben or get in contact with me, and I'll put you on to Ben. So yeah, that's one of his projects that he's got coming up, and I think he passed gate 1, so he's just waiting for an interview on gate 2 now.
Brilliant. Emily.
Hello.
Could you put Ben's website in the comments? And then have we got any comments and shout outs?
We've got lots of shout outs. We've got a shout out to Steve Dixon, Rhiann Davis, hello, Neil Jones, Angela Vanita Strong says, hello, this is beautiful. Hi to Leanne Roberts and Anthony White, all these people that are watching and commenting. So everyone's loving it.
And
look Ben's website.
Yeah, please, yeah.
What is Ben's website?
So it's www.
Yep.
.drywave events.
Drywave.
Yeah. .com, I think.
DIY dry wave.
Wave, yeah.
Right, do that now.
Thanks, Emily. Brad.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, my friend.
Hiya.
So you're going to share a bit of your story, aren't you? And a bit of hope and inspiration and a bit of your personal transformation.
Yeah, tonight I am, yeah.
I'll hand it over to you, mate. It's all yours.
Brilliant. It's nice to see you in these purple T-shirts as well. So, you know, I don't know what it is, but each time I come to do something like this, I get full of anxiety. I get these feelings in my stomach, you know, something that I've never felt before. You know, they say that to me, addiction is a learned behaviour. But to me, I believe it's something that I was born with. You know, when I look back from my addictive behaviours from such a young age, you know, so, you know, I first picked drugs up myself from a very early age, and, you know, it escalated to me taking harder drugs each and every single time. You know, but what led me to my drug of choice towards the end, which was heroin and crack cocaine, is that I had an accident, and you know, and I got addicted to pain relief. You know, so I'm not going to speak about all my life story tonight. So, like Dan said, I'm just going to speak about my recovery, if you will. You know, I've tried getting this 4 times. This was my 4th time I come out of a treatment centre, and you know, each time I'd not thrown myself fully in and committed to it. You know, I used to get complacent. I used to come into recovery, start looking well, start putting a bit of weight on, and you know, I'd never get stuck into the 12 steps. I'd never get a sponsor. You know, and I'd get complacent and I'd end up relapsing. You know, but you know, relapse doesn't have to happen. You know, but that was part of my journey. That's what I had to go through to get to where I'm at today. You know, so, and it's Emerging Futures who's absolutely helped me out loads. You know, they've always been there for me. They've always pulled me out of the hole that I've been dug myself into. You know, because they could see something in me. That's what they used to say to me. They could see something inside of me. You know, so you know, me using took me to some dark places. You know, it genuinely did. You know, towards the end of me using, I was suicidal. Never acted on it. You know, but them thoughts were there on a daily basis. You know, I couldn't cope anymore. You know, I was using against my own will. You know, where I didn't want to use, but I couldn't stop using. You know, and I'd never felt that before. So on my 3rd time, I've been in a treatment centre last year. I think I was 11 or 12 days clean off my medication, and got a long story short, I ended up back in active addiction. You know, and that's the place where it took me to on that last relapse, what I was just talking about. You know, I couldn't cope. You know, I just couldn't carry on doing what I was doing. So I went back into treatment in January this year, and it was Glen Valley, Waterfoot, which is run by Emerging Futures. And they do a program in there which is called Live and Thrive. You know, so this time I crawled through them doors, you know, begging for help and ready to stop. I've always been ready to stop using, but not internally ready to stop using. I thought I wanted to in my head, but I weren't ready, you know, so I've had to go through all that pain for me to realise. And, you know, so I graduated from Live and Thrive I'm 7 months clean now. 7 months clean. And it's the longest time I've been abstinent in over 20 years of my life. You know, which is an absolute massive achievement. So I graduated from there about 3.5 months ago, nearly 4 months ago. So after I graduated, I stayed in for a couple of more months, you know, because I weren't ready to move back out. So I moved into 2nd stage, which I've never done before. So I stopped there for a while, and you know, since I've moved on from 2nd stage, I've met a partner, which they advise not to do, you know, but we're all different, you know. So she's doing me a world of good, you know, and also I found faith as well this time. You know, I found faith. I've always believed in something. So what's made me believe and come towards God is through being in the NA fellowship. You know, so I went to my first NA meeting about 6.5, 7 years ago at Green Lane in Blackburn. And I was in another treatment centre then, that was called Thomas, which is based in Blackburn. That's a 12-step treatment centre. You know, and so I've always had that higher power drilled into me, you know, power greater than ourselves. You know, and that's what made me start to believe that there was something bigger than I am, if that makes any sense. And you know, so this time I've come into recovery. I started going to church last year in Accrington, a place called Aroma. There was this bloke who prayed on me, and you know, so which planted the seed. But now, you know, the opposite to fear, they say fear everything and recover, you know. And today I have faith, so it's the opposite to fear, if that makes any sense. And it works. It absolutely does. You know, so I've got myself involved with Church on the Street, which are based in Burnley, with a bloke called Mick Fleming who runs it. Now I've got one of his books here tonight, Power in the Name of Jesus, you know, and he's absolutely an inspirational man. You know, he genuinely and he truly is, you know, the gifts of recovery. I've been to a wedding today, come back clean and sober. You know, it's absolutely amazing, because once upon a time I'd have gone there with all good intentions to try and not drink or use, and I'd have been fooling myself, you know. So today I've gone there, safeguarded myself. I'd had an escape exit route, and I've only stayed for an hour, you know, to come back home and do this. This had never happened once upon a time, you know. It's just great, you know. Recovery's given me a lot, and the services that I've used in the past that's helped me to get to here today, you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, you know. So CSI, you know, I've done a lot with them, activities, you know, which give me connection, you know, because when we're in active addiction, we're isolating, you know, and they say the opposite to addiction is connection, you know. So, and Red Rose Recovery, they've given me a lot of connection as well. Emerging Futures, that if it weren't for them, you know, I can't show them enough gratitude. I genuinely really can't. The treatment centre that I've just come from, massive respect for them. You know, I can't praise them enough. You know, and there's other services like my detox lady. You know, she never give up on me. She never ever give up on me. Kelly Tansey from Burnley. You know, she's always given me that time. You know, so inspire all the groups. And, you know, I've struggled connecting with these Zooms as well, but it's that saying, isn't they keep coming back, and it works. It genuinely does. I don't want to talk about too much of the chaos that I've been into. I just wanted to talk about how I've got to where I'm at today, you know, and it's through connecting, it's through going to fellowship meetings and listening to other people, and looking up to them people who's actually doing it. You know, one thing I do today is when I come into recovery, I used to get into that crowd that I've always been used to. You know, what attracts me, you know, but today I stay away from that. I stick with the people who's actually doing it, you know. So I'm going through the steps the NA way, the green and gold, and I'm going through the steps the biblical way as well, which the NA and the AA, it's all come from the Bible. It's all the same spiritual principles, you know, and the success rate as well. There's quite a big difference, you know. So I'm going through both steps. I've got amazing sponsors. People are actually working this stuff, you know, and I'll be glad to get back to some meetings. I go to one on a Friday night, which is in Barnoldswick. It's called COPS, Church on the Street, and it's a fellowship meeting, NA, AA, or it's a Christianity meeting, and they're in Barnoldswick at 7:30 every Friday night. That's if you want a face-to-face meeting, if you will. And you know, I went to my first one 4 weeks ago, first one in nearly 6 months, you know, and it were amazing. So if there's anyone struggling out there for a meeting, you know, in the Burnley area or wherever they are, if they're struggling to get there and they're local to where I am, I'm in Burnley, I'll get you to a meeting on a Friday night. So yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about. I just want to say that, you know, I feel blessed to be able to sit here tonight and to be able to speak to you, and to be able to give this platform to be able to speak to you.
So thanks for that, Brad. Brilliant. Yeah, shout out to Mick Fleming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I just
congratulations, Mick.
Yeah, do you know what? There's a lot of love here, Brad. A lot of love. You've got people, you've got Neil Jones loving this. I needed it. He needed it this. So Stephen Hodson, Ridgeway, well done, Brad, mate. Alison Kershaw, well done, Brad. Angela Strong, keep up the good work. God is with you. Barbara English, respect to 7 months clean, Brad. David Garth, well done, brother. Leanne Roberts, it sounds like it was your time, Brad. And Leanne, well done. She's 10 weeks out of rehab this week, so that's brilliant. There's lots of comments, lots of Katrina Bond, gratitude, so many people. That was a brilliant share, brilliant.
Yeah, and Brad, so you do it. I mean, you helped us organise this as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Alison mentioned how well you're doing on leadership.
Yeah.
And you're doing the new mine contract as well, aren't you? So
that's right. So yeah, I'm doing that leadership every Friday, which is helping me grow loads, which is through Red Rose Recovery. You know, and giving me the opportunity to do some volunteering for you as well, because this is where I want to be. You know, I'm a roofer by trade, you know, and I could go into that work tomorrow. But, you know, there's also, we always do the same things and expect different results. I can't be in that circle anymore. You know, it's the lifestyle that comes with it, the people I'm surrounding myself with. So this is what I want to do. I want to be able to give back in recovery. This is what I'm passionate about. So, yeah, I can't share enough gratitude for yourselves as well for Red Rose Recovery, honestly.
So can I just come in quickly? So Brad, I've known you for 2 years, haven't I?
Yeah.
You were there at the start of my my journey, and you know, because we've got someone here who runs Live and Thrive. Why don't you talk about your experience, what that program is, before Dave delves into it, and what it's done for you? Because I can't say enough for it from my perspective, but I'll talk about that with Dave in a bit.
Yeah. So what it showed me, Live and Thrive, was a lot about my past traumas, which it brought up a lot of stuff that I'd buried for years and years and years, and stuff that I'd used on, you know, and it showed me my behaviours. It showed me how I ticked, why I did what I did. It learned me about myself, but I have key points in recovery, me, and the things that picked up for me were trauma. That's what I got a lot from it, were trauma.
Yeah. So hopefully, Brad, next time we do one of these, you'll be leading it, and me and Dan will be just watching you. Yeah.
No, but on a serious note, to see Brad where he was when I came out of my rehab and I first met him, and to see the growth, and you know, just to see where he is, you know, I take my hat off to you. You know how much I love you, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man, because you're smashing it, and we love you.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Cheers, Brad.
We're
going to go. Go on. Sorry, James. Go on.
I just say that I've known Brad a while, about a year and a half, just over, and yeah, I've seen you in and out and struggling and back again and all that, and I haven't got really anything profound to add. It's just that, you know, it's really nice to see you getting it. Do you know what I mean? Because you're a genuine lad, and it was always upsetting to see you not getting it. So to see you now getting it and looking healthy and sounding healthy as well, you know, like, you know, you sound like, you know, you're believing in what you're doing and you're believing in yourself more than you ever did, and it's really nice to see. So fair play to you, man. Well done.
Thanks, James. And on that note, anyway, James, we're going to come to you next, if that's all right.
Should we just go to Emily, see if she's got any shout outs, any comments?
Yeah. Okay,
we've got Katrina Bond. She said, accept each day for what it is and know that it's okay in the moment. So that's quite valid. That's quite good information and good feedback. But they've got loads of people. Philip Daly says, well done. Alex Campbell, well done, Brad. So inspirational. Brilliant. So lots of good comments. Well done.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Bev, do you want to introduce our next guest?
Yeah, James, over to you. Do you want to tell us the new project you're working on, and then do you want to pass it over then to Tony for us, please?
Yeah. Also, Jane's been cut off because there's been a power cut in her street.
She's had a power cut
in her street. So I'm gonna say a little bit about the shop, and then she can elaborate if she makes it back on.
Right. Okay. Thank you, James.
Yeah. So I'm James. So this is I'm on my second go around the recovery merry-go-round. First time I didn't engage with any recovery. I didn't do that connection. I just didn't get involved. I thought, my attitude was like, oh, ugh, I'm not going to meetings for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And I just need to, I thought getting a job, I thought work and football were going to keep me clean. Do you know what I mean? First time around, and obviously we all know that's not possible. So this time around, I got involved volunteering, I got involved with Red Rose and the LUF myself, which helped me massively. I also got involved with CSI, which is who I work for now, and that's why I'm here today. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the shop that we're opening in the Arndale in Accrington. So we've been given a unit in the Accrington Arndale, and the plan is for it to be a charity shop selling mostly sporting goods, but just general stuff as well. But also, it's quite a big unit. So in the back end, we're going to be looking at having little meeting rooms, little one-to-one counselling pods, spaces for activities, and just a general try and create a recovery. I nearly said a recovery hub then. A recovery hub in the centre of Accrington, because there's a lot of recovery in Accrington, and it's going to hopefully be a sort of bustling, vibrant place where people can come and get linked in with different services and different providers, and also just a place for people to come and hang out and meet each other. And yeah, so that's an exciting project. Obviously, we're looking to get other providers involved as well, getting everybody to have a presence in the middle of the Arndale there in Accrington. So it's exciting times with that. The reason I've spoke about that is because my boss Jane was on here, but she had a power cut in her street, so she wasn't able to come on and talk about that. But also, so what CSI do, as most of you probably know, but not everyone watching will, is we put on activities, anything from walks and football, and there's chill and chat groups, meditations, all these sorts of stuff that get put on in the community for free to get people in recovery or people suffering with mental health, and just people in general as well. They're open to anyone, the activities that we do. And the activities, if you will, a bit of a ruse, a bit of a trick to get people into a space where they've got people to talk to and they can get linked into wider recovery, if you will, and get connected with other addicts or other people suffering from that mental health. And also another project that we're running, I don't know how long we've been running for, but I've been working on it for about 6 months now, is the United Together project, which is about tackling reoffending by people get referred to us when they've just got out of prison and they're still on probation and they're still on license and stuff, and basically different workers do different areas and we have different approach and different starting points. But for me, I'll take the referral and I'll get the person in the room and I'll sit them down. I'll have a conversation with them about the strengths, about what it is they want me to help them do. If they're looking for housing, then I'll make phone calls to housing providers and do all that sort of stuff that I've always found overwhelming. All that day-to-day life on life's terms stuff of picking the phone up and getting put on hold, and your temper's going while you're on hold, and you're getting more and more annoyed, and you get told you got to ring this person and that person, and all that pillar to post crap, as I used to call it. I used to drive me mad. I'll do that for them, and I'll also get them out on activities. I'll take them for walks, or I'll just sit and listen to them sound off about the problems they've got with their probation or housing or where they're living, the probation hostel they're staying in, whatever they, it's whatever they need really, and it's trying to show them what we know is that there's a different way to live, and life's easier if you just let down your guard, let people help you, and try and live an honest life. So I've worked in different areas with different sort of cohorts of people, if you will, and this particular area I've found is probably one of the hardest areas to give hope to. One of the hardest sort of client base I've found to give hope to, because it's just a struggle. I can't even describe as to why, and it can be very frustrating because there's a lot of bumps. There's a lot of people who sort of don't do what I put in place for them, or they're determined to do it and they fall because they're powerless over the using of the drugs or being led astray by other people into crime and this sort of stuff like that. And it can be very frustrating and very exasperating. But then people like Tony, who's on here today to tell his story, like Brad's just done, come along and they want it and they're hungry and they get involved and you see them grow and move on. And I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's what Tony's to do. And then people make it all worthwhile. All them frustrations, all the despair of seeing people not get it. Then, like I say, someone like Tony comes along and makes it all worthwhile. And so with that, I'm probably going to leave it there, and I'm going to hand over to Tony, and he's going to share a little bit of his life and his story and where he's at now and a bit of his hope for the future. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Tony.
I'm Tony. I don't really know where to start with this. This is the first time I've done anything like this. Basically, my drug use started when I was a young kid. I was about 7-year-old when I got forced to smoke weed. To me, I carried on doing that. I enjoyed it. It helped me deal with a few problems that I had from my past, from things that happened when I was a lot younger. Eventually, I just carried on smoking weed, going out partying with friends, and I ended up using cocaine for the first time. That's where my downfall began. Basically, I'm not going to lie, at the time I loved it. And I didn't realise the effects it was having on me, and ended up going to prison for 12 years. Basically, led me on that wrong path. I ended up doing things that I regret doing to this day. It's hard for me to talk about this. Basically, I went out robbing people. I basically didn't care. Last year, I thought everything was good after doing 12 years in jail. I thought I'd be all right, and I ended up straight back on that same path. I just didn't realise how easy it was to slip back into the old lifestyle. Last time I got out, I didn't want to engage. So like I said, this time when I got out, I met James. I attended my first NA meeting a couple of weeks ago, which to me, I think is a blessing. I just don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I'm getting a bit shy. Basically, I'm sort of engaging with that now. I'm engaging with other groups and activities. I actually want to give something back. I look back at my life and I look at all the stuff that I've done wrong to people. I think it's about time I give something back to them. Sort of made a difference. I don't want to be the person I used to be. I want to be someone that can go out there and make a difference, help someone that's in a situation that I was in, and try and change their life around. As I've been there. My little brother's there following my same footsteps at the moment, and I'm sort of trying to keep them out of it. And well, I don't really know what else to say. I'm a bit.
Thanks, Tony. That's really powerful, and I identify with some of that because I'm not too keen on bringing up some of the things that I did in the past. But for me, I'm not that person today. I give back. and I try to follow morals and principles in my life. But you know, you're on here, bro, and you know, massive hat off to you for coming on and sharing. So yeah,
I want to show people there's more to life than drugs, and there's a lot more.
Yeah, great message that, Tony.
thank you.
There's
Emily,
a lot of love.
Emily, can we just go to Emily really quickly, and then we're going to go to James?
Tony, that's brilliant, mate. Well done. There's lots of messages here. You've got Leanne Roberts, hard transition to make, mate. Alison Kershaw, you're doing a great job, Tony. You've got Barbara English, who wants to know if there's any ideas for a shop in Skelmersdale, the same as it's going on in Accrington. So if there's any feedback, any ideas that to let her know. Peter Yarwood, well done, Tony. Alison Kershaw, much needed is the hub. She's excited for Red Rose to be involved. Steve Bennett, well done, everyone. Keep up the good work. Lindsay Jackson, Red Rose Recovery, it's my second family. And Dave Garth is just graduated from Live and Thrive, and he learnt so much, he's highly recommended. So loads of feedback, Tony. Well done. Lot
Thanks,
of
Emily.
here.
Can I just say on the up, I went to see it in town on Thursday, and it's brilliant. But Jane's not here now, and Jane were going to say it, but they're just trying to think of a name for it. So she were going to do a competition. She were going to announce it on here. So if anybody out there can think of a name for the up, then if you just put it in the comments, or if you contact James or Jane herself with any name, she's willing to put it into a competition and see which is best name.
Yeah, I've got a quick question for Tony, and then I'll answer that question about Skelmersdale. So, Tony, without telling people exactly which place it is that you're at, why don't you tell everyone what kind of place you're at and where you're going to be next week?
I'm at a hostel at the moment. I've just got out of prison. I've been out of jail now 7 weeks, and I've just secured my own tenancy. I'm moving back to my area on Monday. I managed to get myself a flat. I'm doing well.
Massive well done. Big step, that. Big step. Well done, mate. Yeah, the Accrington shop is a pilot, I think, and if it's successful, then other areas will get looked at moving forward. I think that's one step at a time at the moment. I think just looking at making it, if we can make it work. Sustainability is the key.
Yeah. Do you want to mention what the question, James, about the Skem shop?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They said whether there be one in Skem. That's what I was saying. It's if it's just like I said, it's about sustainability in it. So if we make this one in Accrington work, and it becomes economically viable as well as socially and
yeah,
you know what I mean, as well as being effective for recovery, to be economically viable as well, and to generate money and sustainability, then it will be looking at moving it into
when do you think
other
it'll be
areas.
open, James?
I'm probably not the best person to answer that question, but I would imagine it's going to be a few months. But I think it's probably going to be a week or so before there's any solid dates on it, if you will.
Yeah, I think Jane was saying actually something like November, but for anyone who wants to have a look at it in November, because it's just an empty shell at the minute, it's next to WH Smith's in the Arndale Centre, so you can't miss it. It's used to be a brand shop.
Mm-hmm.
So,
James,
yeah.
can I just come in? I just wanted to know what sort of projects CSI are running at the minute, whether COVID's sort of limiting what they can do at the minute, because I know it's a lot of, you do a lot of outside stuff, don't you?
Yeah, at the moment, different areas have different things on. Our timetable is being released on the Facebook page. I know there's football in Preston. There's at Accrington Stanley every Wednesday afternoon. We have a football session. That's for anybody who wants to come.
And how do people get involved in that, James?
They can go to our website, and it's on sort of posters on our Facebook. If they go to our Facebook page and message, if they can't find the information on the Facebook page, just send us a message, and someone from staff team will help you with that information. That's you've reminded me of something I forgot to mention there. That the work we do with the United Together and the Tackle and Reoffending is in partnership with the community trusts of the football clubs in the different areas. So, there are, once things get back to normal, there's a lot of opportunities there through the football trust to do lots of employability stuff and many other things aside from just the activities. Do you know what I mean? So it's, it was a good thing that got sort of stopped by all this COVID business. So, like a lot of things, I imagine,
Yeah.
So yeah, but like I say, Aki Stanley, 3 o'clock. It's the Atkinson Stanley Sports Hub, but at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. But if anyone wants any information on anything, just go onto CSI's Facebook page and just send a message, and someone will get back to you with the information you need for your area.
Brilliant.
And do we know anything about? Because I remember last year, was it last year or the year before, we were skiing through CSI. Shout out Paul Bequan, used to put it on every Thursday. It was absolutely brilliant. Do we know whether that will come back in the future or?
Well, it was reduced to once a month because of lack of numbers, wasn't it, before COVID? And I think as soon as the facility allows it, it's as with a lot of things, it's as soon as we can find a facility to allow things, or as soon as the facility we were using allows things. Like I say, Accrington Stanley took the decision that we could do football there once the restrictions changed about team sports. So it's kind of the same. I think we'd be looking at other football clubs and other venues that we used to use for football or other activities, other sports. I think in the north, in Lancaster, Morecambe, I know my colleague up there mind me mentioning her name, Tamazin. She's got quite a few bits of. She's got wellbeing walks, wellbeing cycles. There's a fitness session in the park. She probably out of all of us got the most going, the soonest. But we're all starting to click back into gear, if you will.
Yeah, because CSI isn't just Accrington and the East based, is it? You guys are all over Lancashire, over Lancashire.
Yeah, can I just say, Jay Moody's just put CSI are out in the community delivering activities, and there's a new timetable out next week. Oh,
cool,
brilliant. Right,
okay.
Lovely.
And because now you mentioned COVID, all our groups are on Zoom at the moment, aren't they, Dan? Well, we have a few that are out, but they're more in north than east.
Yeah.
Just hold on. Just move to my minute. Warming up.
Our musicians have just turned up.
Yeah. So if you want to know any of our Zoom groups, they're all on our website, and you can actually join from the website straight onto the Zoom links. You just go on to what's on, click on what you fancy going on, click join now, and it'll take you straight into the Zoom meeting. And that's on www.redroserecovery.org.uk for anyone who's interested in that. We have loads of different things. We have some fun things. We have some more even now groups, check-in groups. We've got all sorts going on. Quizzes.
Daniel, apparently, Jane Moody says through the winter there's going to be some skiing offered. Are you into skiing?
That's what I did. So what they have is in Is it Rosendale, James? Rosendale.
Yeah. Ski Rosendale.
In Rosendale, yeah. So they've got two slopes there, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
got like a baby slope for people that have never skied before, and you've got your own. Yeah, and you've got your own trainer there that will show you how to ski, and then you've got the more advanced one. I think Brad came to the top of me with that one, didn't you, Brad?
I was with you that day, I think.
That was from the top.
And also, Daniel, just quickly, Lindsay Jackson says, Dan Littlechild, you are a natural. Credit where credit's due. I don't know where my compliment is or Bev's, but anyway, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, actually, no,
Yeah.
I've got one. We've got a compliment. We've got a compliment. We're all right from Emma. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thanks, Emily. Now we know your favourite is Lindsay. Remember that. All right, so Homegrown. Welcome, Homegrown. Will you just unmute yourselves again, lads? I just muted you because we could hear you playing, you warming up. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. Do you want to tell us a bit of what you've been up to? Can you hear us? Yeah, Liam? Don't know. Liam? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Maybe yeah.
See us. Yeah. Or maybe it's because Nick's in the different room. Well, yeah, and he's got the drum mics low because it's set up to play his things. So yeah, you can hear us. Yeah.
Yeah. Off you go then.
Yeah. Do you want us to play now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We've got a thumbs up. That'll do for me. Hello, everyone. Hi. Thanks very much for having us on again. We've really enjoyed doing these. We've got one you haven't heard before now, I think, which is one of Steve's. Rosé wine, or the perils thereof.
Are you okay, Nick? Can you hear us? Yeah. All right. We ready?
Yeah. I'm in a really odd position.
Are you okay then?
Yeah, it's just gonna have to do.
Are you starting on mandolin?
Oh. Yeah, go on. Pass me the mandolin.
Pass the mandolin over. All right. Many hands. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Good man. So. Right. Okay. Right. Here we go. Right. We're going, Nick. Yeah. Right. I should know by now. I should know by now. Always gonna leave me sad and blue. I should know by now. I should know by now that it can never be easy. It'll see me through. I should know by now. And well, if your little was falling apart, well, I've been so unkind. I should know by now. You can't move forward if you can't stop looking behind. I should put a glass of rose and wine in my mind. I should realize by now. Yes, I should realize by now. Not to be complacent. Don't get too comfortable. I should have realized by now. Yes, I should have realized by now. Life is a high lesson. It's not predictable. I should have realized by now. Anything that comes and goes just as easy as decay. And like that your life gets rearranged. I should have realized by now. Stand still too long, you get left behind in the rain. I'll be standing in the rain with the pain. I should have changed by now. Yes, I should have changed by now. change my ways. Too long living strange. I should have aged by now. Yes, I should have aged by now, but I think I'm getting younger in my brain. I should have changed by now. Change the way it goes, get yourself back into her clothes. Get yourself back up there in her bedroom. I should have changed by now. Change the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I feel. She doesn't know. She came away too soon to the sea. True love, it never comes easy. And then you watch them turn. I should have learned by now. Yes, I should have learned everything by now, but it will never please me. And she only had just fun. I should have learned by now not to be a loser of losing and losing when they're out there doing fine. You know they're out there doing fine while you're in a hard time. I should have learned by now. Some of us get to pick and choose, we get to win and lose. The rest of us get to wood, kills and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugar and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugar and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugar and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugar and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. For all my crimes, I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. One more time. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. Got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine. I got a head full, sugars and rose and wine.
Thank you.
Hey, brilliant. Brilliant as always. Thank you very much. I don't know if, I think one of you can hear me. Are you all right to do us another song after our next guest speaks? Is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, guys.
I'll just mute you now for next guest, all right?
Can I just give some feedback from the so we've got Leanne Roberts, homegrown, sound ace, but she was on the bus to Blackpool, so it did keep glitching out, but she's all right now. David Garth, sounds great. Dominic, brilliant. Lindsay Jackson, well done, homegrown. We did have someone who was struggling, Evans Willing. He was in a bit of a bad situation, but we found out he lives in Florida, so we can't actually help him. But Pete said he can get on some international meetings on Zoom, and that Emma's on them all the time. So hopefully Evan will get some support. But brilliant, well done, homegrown. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Can I just come in quickly? So I just want to remind you guys just to like it and share it. If you don't like and share it, then you won't be entered into the competition. The competition I'm spinning tonight is from the guys that liked and shared it last week up to today. So if you don't like and share it, that you won't win, or you won't have the chance to win next week. So just like and share it, please. Thank you. Yeah. So moving on. I've waited for this guy. Do you know what? I've not spoken to him since I graduated my Live and Thrive because of what I did, because I relapsed and disconnected from everyone. So I've been waiting patiently to speak to this guy, and he's one of my favourite people. He's so inspirational to me. So without further ado, Mr. David Dakin.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me. And yes, I remember that time well, but you was always on we was watching you from afar, and when I seen that you got back in the fold with Red Rose and you've even moved away and still kept in, so it's this kind of, it's kind of worked similar for me as well. COVID's actually, instead of looking for all the negatives of lockdown, I've kind of tried to utilize the positives of it, and one of them is that we can sit in our respective homes now, all being connected, listening to top music there. Well done, lads, there. Liam and the guys, I love that. You know what I mean? I've had the fortunate enough that Liam's played with me to do some music at the Christmas party last year, and all of my Live and Thrive group who got involved in that just were blown away. It's something they'll remember forever. So it's good to see him playing with his band there, though. So well done, homegrown. Good stuff. And another thing as well, being sat here tonight with yourself on, and you, Bev, when she worked over at Inspire with Red Rose. So I have that connection. Brad and James, and then Ben as well earlier. It's all people who I've either been, either worked with or have been parts of my journey. I never worked with you, you've been part of my journey, because undoubtedly I get the what's the word, the best way I can put it, the good end of the treatment journey. I get to see the people who's making them massive, light bulb moments and staying clean. But my part of the journey wouldn't be, there's nobody who comes into Live and Thrive, or Thrive as we call it now, nobody comes into that having not already accessed other support from other people on the journey. And so I always want to give a massive shout out to all of my colleagues at Inspire Accrington and Inspire East Lancs, the whole, but someone, I think it was Brad mentioned earlier on, that is detox worker Kelly. She's great, Kelly, and all the people who come on to Live and Thrive have generally either just done a detox or they've gone through detox in one way. So I have a great relationship there. And then the recovery support guys now, Liam himself there. So there's connections all the way. The individual only gets to maybe look at their abstinence bit as being like the main good bit, but the reality is it was a process what was happening all the way along. So just in then saying, I think it's you wanted to know a little bit about. Brad mentioned when he was on Live and Thrive, he did quite a lot of trauma work, which is really important because that's what it is, a trauma-informed program. But what we found was with COVID and the isolation of having to, you know, work from Zoom and work online, we actually went back and almost like redesigned the program. We kind of like had to take into account that we didn't want people being left on their own with stuff. So we've tailored it again, and that's what's wonderful. The team I work with, we've got 4 different people delivering Thrive, and also the people who deliver the other PSI foundations groups, and we all meet as facilitators in a PSI group, and we actually deliver groups to each other. Where
And these are guys that have come through the program that are delivering it as well, aren't they?
Well, if you think of Dennis is one of our workers who's gone all the way through our service from being a volunteer and then into co-facilitating recovery coach, and then he come on and gone permitted earnings, and now he's got a full-time job delivering it. And and Leslie, who works with our family. Emerging Futures and CGL are really good at that, employing from within the volunteer and coaching cohort. You know, I always remember when I started work for, it was CRI then, CGL in 2011 in Rochdale. It was my first job in recovery, and I got interviewed by the main workers, the manager and the area manager, and then I got interviewed by the service users. And I said to the service users in that interview, because it was somebody, I'd listened to David Best say this, and I thought that's exactly how I want to be. And what I said was, if I do my job correctly, I'll be like a turkey voting for Christmas, and my job will go to you, you know. And they all looked at me laughing and all that, but you know, I can proudly say that when I left that job to start work with Emerging Futures in 2014, the girl who started to work at CRI, CGL at the time, was one of the people who was on that panel. So, and that's exactly what it's been like throughout, you know, my work in watching people gain some recovery, to get some volunteering, go to college and learn some stuff. And you know, I wouldn't rush people into getting employed, even though part of our remit to get people back to work. Sometimes when someone's not worked for many, many years and they've had, you know, lots and lots of, you know, illnesses through through their addiction and been on benefits for many years, that is a really hard transition, and it's really important to be coached through that, instead of, oh, you've got 2 days clean, right, let's get you the job. Yeah. But then there's other people who you work with who's already working when they come into recovery, and we need to get them people back to work as soon as possible, because they've got a company that, and we've had lately some really great results on Thrive of that, where companies have actually supported the workers to have flexible times. You know, and there's a couple of our recent case reviews of where the workers, the actual employees have wrote a nice little piece for them as well, to say how happy they are to have their worker back, but you know, from not just back, but even better than before. Yeah. So yeah, for anybody who's watching though and they live in the East Lancashire area, Thrive Online is the abstinence delivery for Inspire.
And how do they get onto that, Dave?
Well, they'll do that through the key worker who they're working with. Now, if they're not actually part of Inspire treatment, i.e. they've not gone through that process, sometimes we get people who's just come out of prison, like Tony earlier on, who's already abstinent, you know, and the last thing we want to do to somebody who's abstinent is start treating them again. What we want to do is encourage them into the recovery community, and that's to engage with stuff like CSI, Red Rose Recovery. But if some of them haven't had an experience of, you know, the therapeutic process of what happens in a group like Thrive, we still will take referrals, self referrals from people who's abstinent in the community. Now, don't get me wrong, it'll depend on the individual whether they're suitable to come on. But even just by referring the self, they'll get contact with myself, and then we'll be able to, if they have already got good recovery capital, we'll be encouraging them to do something like maybe peer mentoring or recovery coaching or some kind of other activity, especially like introducing them to the mutual aid fellowships and stuff what will help them maintain the recovery. But at the moment on my group, I've got a couple of people who are not clients of Inspire, but who have joined my group as people who needed some where they'd come from. They hadn't had that support. They was abstinent, but they wasn't in recovery kind of thing. And we're getting some good results doing that as well.
So this is a 3-day, is it still a 3-day program for 12 weeks?
3 days, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Online, it's between 10 and 12:30 on the Zoom platform. And we have now broadened that offer now to having an evening one. But the evening offer only is a little bit shorter. It's only an hour and a half in length, and it's only on Mondays and Wednesdays. But what we do is we still compensate it with, they get this, we email our attendees every 3 days with all the materials we've used. You have a workbook delivered once a week, which every week we're on a different topic, as you'll remember. You know, and through the 12 weeks, whether you join it at week 6, it doesn't matter because it's a rolling group. But this coincides with other recovery support, what's available, you know, at Inspired itself, and also for people who's not quite achieved abstinence yet. There's the recovery Foundations of Recovery program, which is Change and Growth. Brilliant program, and again, like I said, the facilitators for that program programs actually come into our workshop with us, and we have a PSI workshop where it's really good because, you know, we don't do it as critical professionals giving people feedback that way. We all actually take part in the group as if we was the participants. And it's really, really good. It's a great experience to do that. We all give each other feedback, but not as critical supervisors, as participants of the group. So yeah, it works really well. That.
So there's loads of stuff, you know, for people to access with Emerging Futures, isn't there?
And like you're saying then about, I work in Accrington, but we've got Steve McCluskey delivers the same Thrive program over in Waterfoot as part of the Glen Valley rehab. So what we're actually delivering is a great way to describe it, is rehab in the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is. It's that kind of it's got so much good content, all evidence-based materials what we use. So we've got Dennis over in Pendle, so he does Colne and Nelson and all them areas there. Sharon covers all Burnley. I cover Accrington, and like I said, anything from Waterfoot to Whitworth to Bacup, all that area, Ribble Valley. Is it Ribble Valley? No, it's always getting mixed up, all the different areas.
Rosendale Valley.
Rosendale, that's it. So the Rosendale Valley. So yeah.
Can I ask Dave a question?
You can, James.
Yeah.
So you're saying about like volunteer pathways with Emerging Futures and stuff like that. I was just wondering, you know, the likes of the recovery coaching and all them sort of courses that people may or may not have been signed up for and stuff before lockdown. Are they happening on Zoom, or are they likely to be happening on Zoom, or where are we at with that?
I know, James, and because I don't actually deliver them, I can't give you the definite. But what I can say is that the longer this lockdown's going on, we've realised that it's not going to be going away no time soon. That's what I know as a company. Emerging Futures have already accepted that. We've mobilised our digital offer so quickly and so professionally, and it's like what we're doing in Accrington is being rolled out across the country as well. Now, even though I've not got a start date or when it will be and what have you, I can just tell you that they're definitely behind the scenes and we'll be working on to get that on. But what's great at the moment is that the Inspire itself, their peer mentoring offer, what they've continued online, is really, really good. You know what I mean? It's really good, and it's really supporting the people where they're at. And but hopefully in the future we'll be able to get some kind of coaching back up. But at the moment, like I said, we've got lots of family coaching is still taking place, loads and loads of work going on. When I'm in my team meeting, the biggest report comes from Debbie and her team, Leslie and Ryan. They're amazing. Some of the stuff what they've been doing and how many people they reach, it really is. But hopefully that's what the hope is in the future. We'll be able to get back to that with the coaching as well.
Dave, can I just touch on your experience with the LUF? Because you sort of introduced me. You're one of those guys that just fills up your car and gets the Inspire bus and mobilises people for the Lancashire User Forum. So I just want to know, your experience of it. And
well, one thing definitely, and in regards to the Thrive group, is that I'm hoping to inspire people to realise that we can't do this on our own, and anything what will get you connected to other recovering people and opportunities, I want to promote. So when I was first in employment and then Rochdale days, like I said, I got and Red Rose Recovery was just, we hadn't even been born, I don't think then. I think it was just still the Lancashire User Forum, and the Red Rose was being developed. And I met Peter and I loved what the LUF was doing. So every opportunity I got, I would ask my boss, can I take the service users? And it ended up then becoming like a bit of I was like even though I wasn't in Lancashire, I was coming from Greater Manchester then. And then when I was working back in Warrington, I was bringing them up on the bus from Warrington and different areas I worked. And I've been dead fortunate to be able to play in our band at a few of especially the ones back in the day in the Kirkham prison was amazing. It was great. And so I've got an affiliation and friendship with all the people within it. It's a great organisation. And so when I got to Accrington, and sure enough, Accrington falls in the east. So east is part of the Free Triangle, east, central and north. And I thought, you know what, every time it was on, no matter where it was, I always checked with my bosses first, but said, is it okay we go as a group? And as you know, you've been to one with me.
Yeah, that's where I met you, Daniel, on that coach first time when we tried to fill that coach, weren't it, Dave?
And we went,
and I was thinking, Dave, you know, you live and thrive when they graduate.
Yeah.
Why don't you come on here with them, some of them, and get them to talk a bit?
Yeah, do you know what? That would be a really good thing. I'm gonna. I have at the moment. What's been a really good thing, like I said earlier on about looking for ways that we can utilise lockdown instead of thinking of the negatives. Well, with traditional Live and Thrive, we used to have the groups Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that was it. But what we've done now is we've made that email 3 times a week with all the resources. But we've also opened up a WhatsApp page for each of the groups. And sometimes I'm nearly brought to tears sometimes when I see the support what they give each other in all bloody hours and meeting up together on Sundays for a walk. And, you know, one girl graduated on Friday yesterday, and all of them, they all met up. They know that lockdown was coming, so they said, let's have a meet up before lockdown comes. And to see the pictures they put up, and that was lovely. So I'm a kind of like I tried to flood the pages, these WhatsApp pages, what they've got with mutual aid meetings, inspirational readings, a meditation every day. But I've got to admit, what I put on is minimal compared to what they put on. So I did put on earlier on that I was on here. I don't know if there's anybody watching, but if you are watching on the Thrive, remember what the invites just come from Bev then. She said we could make it once a month. The graduates could come on and get some acknowledgement. I think
Yeah,
that'd be a
definitely.
great idea.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I've just got a couple of more things that I want to talk about. One being the walk, National Recovery Walk.
Yeah.
And if you could just touch on Ben's event that's happening as well.
Yeah. Well, with the recovery walk, I wasn't even sure what they was going to be doing about it, but I got a call a couple of weeks ago asking could me and Dominic do a couple of songs on it. And when he explained that we was both back from holiday and we couldn't be in the same gaff because of isolate, we decided we'd do a couple of songs separately. He done something and I done something. Now, obviously, they couldn't have the walk, physical walk.
Yeah.
But generally, when the UK Recovery Walk's on, they have a conference the day before, and then they have the walk, and then they have the entertainment after it. So everything's virtually happened other than the actual walk. They had the conference yesterday, and it was due to be Newcastle this year. So what they've done is instead of having revotes for next year, they've just said Newcastle's got it next year. So instead of Newcastle 2020, it'll be Newcastle 2021. Yeah, and Anne-Marie Ward, who's like the CEO and organizer, she does so much work to get that walk on. It was lovely to catch up with them. We was on there earlier on today, just before this one, to be honest. And in regards to Ben's, I'm trying to think now if I can get the picture up and get the lineup and that, and to tell you some of the people who's on it.
Yeah, there's a flyer for it, isn't there?
Yeah.
If I share my screen, I think I've got it.
Okay.
Let's just have a quick look.
See, there it is. And I like that bit there, but it says on the residents, Ben SOS, Jake Kelly, and it's all about me. I think that's just your wheel.
That's the wheel, Dan, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to get to the top of the screen. Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. 1 second. Sorry. I know it's here. There we go.
There it is. So we've got Entrance, Faithless, John Fitz, and Prophecy. I know who Prophecy is. I'm not too sure about John, but then you can see the residents there, Ben SOS, Jake Kelly, and then it's all about me.
And that's you and Dominic.
That's me, Dominic, and the band. We've also got Jason, our lead guitarist, and we also have a drummer. Yeah, we played quite a few different recovery events. At the end of the day, all we do is tell another little story in songs. Dominic always says we don't do covers because then if you sing your own songs, then you can't get them wrong. So
True that.
True. Dave, thanks ever so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Always a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You'll have to
Thank
bring
you.
your
Well
old
done as
band
well.
on as well, Dave.
We'll get on one day. Yeah, and well done everybody for all your successes. I've loved listening to Emily on the the comments. It's really good to do that.
Well, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
As we're
and
live,
well done, Brad.
Massive glitch there. Massive.
Did you have a
major
power cut? It must have
thing,
been
but-
because I was on.
Everyone's logging in.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's logging out.
There's loads of messages.
Everyone's logged out.
We've got Leanne Roberts has said to Dave, wow, she was in recovery first time 2013-14, saw David and Ben in Rochdale perform. They were brilliant. And she always thought about you, even in a 5-year relapse. So that's pretty magical. She said, you're both motivational, positive and funny. Julie Thompson, what an amazing guy. Kevin Henderson, Dave, you're a live wire. Pete Yarwood, yes, Dave, double D. I don't know if you're talking about my bra size or whether that's your initials, but anyway. And Dave Garth, the legend that is Dave Dakins. And then Kevin Henderson said, get homegrown back on. They're coming back, Kev. Just chill out, mate. Chill out.
I know, I've just told him patience.
Thanks, Kev. You know what I mean? Me and Kev grew up together. You can't wait getting rid of me. He's like, bloody hell, David, we've had enough of you now. Come on, get off.
Lots of love for you. There's lots of love for you, Dave. There's loads of people, honestly, out there, like the loads of messages. So fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Bev, do you want to introduce our next guest?
We're back to homegrown, aren't we, Dan? Yeah. Can you hear us, lads? You'll have to unmute yourself again, if that's all right.
Stop swearing and that. I'm just unmute it. Right.
4-part, yeah.
Ball and chain.
2, 3, 4. Are we good to go?
Yeah.
I think we're on.
Yeah.
Get on.
Get it? This is called Ball and Chain, this song. On your way, you got nothing left to say. The clouds are drowning and I think I felt a drop of rain. I just started to rain as you ride.
done, lads. Brilliant as always. Absolutely fantastic. Emma wants you on next week as well, by the way.
I think Emma's your biggest fan. We've got
Yeah.
Love That, we've got Well Done, Love You Guys, Emma. And then Alison Kershaw, great show tonight. Barbara English, well done everyone. Emma's clapping, there's hands, is it? Love Arts, the love is there.
And anyone else?
Can I just come in and say about Homegrown that, you know, really good group, and they didn't deserve to be last in Bev competition. They're not listening.
How
No,
did that
only
happen?
one of them can hear us,
Yeah.
and he's trying to shout the messages through.
How did that happen?
I think it would. I just think it was the, you know, people voted, so I think they got all the mates to vote, and like Homegrown didn't do that, so it's just the way it goes, in it. But they weren't bothered; they were happy just to join in.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. All the best.
So
Are we gonna spin the wheel, Danny, and see who's won £20? Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it spun. So we've put in everyone's
Are we muted now?
everyone. Yeah, let's mute them. Yeah, so I've put in everyone that liked and shared from last week. And remember, if you don't like and share it, then you're not going to be entered into the competition to win a £20 voucher. So I'm just going to share my screen now. How do I? It's there. Look. Stop. There we go. And the winner is Liam. So a big well done to Leanne Roberts.
Yeah, I think Leanne's been watching us, Dan, all night. I think she has, hasn't she, Emily?
Leanne's been on the bus to Blackpool. She's been supporting everyone. She's been putting loads of likes and shares. So well done, Leanne. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot to all the guests. You've been brilliant tonight, and you've really helped out. Me and Danny were a bit nervous, weren't we, doing this? So we're quite relieved now it's over. So
Well
thank you very much, all of you, for coming on. Sorry, Dave, go on.
Well done. You've both done great, Bev and Dan. Well done.
We had a few technical issues at start, but we've had a power cut and also it's in the middle of it, but we've carried on. And I'd like to thank everyone who's watched. Yeah.
We're unpredictable, weren't we?
Yeah, we've had loads of supporting comments as well. So thanks a lot for everyone who's watched us. And if you're watching us after, I hope you enjoy it as well. Is there any more comments, Emily, from anyone?
Just got Emma. Leanne Roberts says thanks. So that's cool. Well done, Leanne. Kevin Henderson, lol. Leanne Roberts. I think Kevin might be a bit jealous, but never mind. It's all right. Don't worry, Kevin. You can do it next week. And well done, guys, from Emma. Oh, hold on. Kevin Henderson wants Homegrown back on. Big fan. So, no, well done. There's been lots of messages coming through. So, well done to everybody. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have too. Thanks, Bev. Yeah, I just want to take time to say, you know, you are my colleague, but you are my friend, and thank you ever so much for all your support. You know, we love you at Red Rose. You bend over backwards for everyone, and I just want to come on this platform and say a personal thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Same back to you, though. You're a great support. I love having you in team for East and one of my colleagues. It's brilliant. So I think that's it. I think we're done. We can, well, Dave's had his tea, only one who sat there eating in front of us, but rest of us can go and get our tea now, can't we? So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Emily. Cheers, James. See you later. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.